Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are in the world. Today we're going to be completing the life story of Bilal ibn Rabah. But before we start, I'd like to set up a little game for this video. So if the video, if I'm trying to get the video to be no longer than exactly 6 minutes. So if it's longer than exactly 6 minutes, then feel free to dislike the video. And if it's shorter, then feel free to like the video. Alright, now let's get started. Now, Bilal ibn Rabah is, as we said earlier, one of the most important Sahabi. And to add to that, he was very well respected by the Prophet Muhammad and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. As it says here, narrated by Abu Hurairah in Sahih al-Bukhari, at the time of the Fajr prayer, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Bilal, "Tell me of the best deed you did after embracing Islam, for I heard your footsteps in front of me in paradise." Bilal replied, "I did not do anything worth mentioning except that whenever I performed wudu during the day or night, I prayed after that ablution as much as was written for me." So this right here shows how pious and how steadfast Bilal was, that he would, whenever he made wudu, he just immediately took the time, he immediately made the effort to just go worship right then and there. He didn't, I'm gonna wait a few minutes, I'm gonna wait till after Isha, after whenever. He just immediately, he's like, I need to connect to Allah right now. Continuing on, there is a Sahih narration in Sahih al-Bukhari, narrated by Abdul Rahman bin Auf. "I had an agreement with Umayyah bin Khalaf that he would look after my relatives and property in Mecca, and I would look after his relatives and property in Medina." Abdul Rahman then mentioned the killing of Umayyah and his son on the day of Badr, and Bilal said, "Woe to me if Umayyah remains safe, i.e. alive." So if you don't know, for some added context, Umayyah was also reported to have been Abdul Rahman bin Auf's prisoner of war after the Battle of Badr. After the Muslims won the Battle of Badr, he was reported to be a prisoner of war under the care of Abdul Rahman bin Auf. And as Bilal said that he wouldn't feel safe unless Umayyah was not remaining alive, or woe to me if Umayyah remains alive, a Sahabi, we don't know who, but one of the Sahabi killed Umayyah ibn Khalaf. So you could say that Bilal did get his get back against him eventually, if maybe indirectly. Bilal would obviously fight in the Battle of Badr, as well as the Battle of Uhud and the Battle of the Trench. He would also go on to be married to several different women over the course of his life. One of them being the sisters to the brothers of the sisters of the sons of the sons of Abu Bakr. Now it was a little bit unclear if they were. I don't want to get all the details messed up, but they were. She was the daughter of the son of the sons of Abu Bakr. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, personally recommended that he be married to them. He is also reported to have married Hinnul Khulaina from Yemen, and according to Qatada, he had married a woman from the tribe of Banu Zuhra. Now, after the death of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Bilal would be called to make the adhan in Medina, but stricken by grief, tears would roll down his face and he would have trouble finishing the adhan. So he vowed to never make the adhan again, and he never would again, at least in Medina. During the caliphate of Abu Bakr, Bilal would request to join the Muslim army in jihad, but was told by Abu Bakr to stay with him in Medina because he needed his help with affairs there. Later, during the caliphate of Umar ibn Khattab, Bilal asked Umar to let him join in the campaign in Bilad al-Sham, otherwise known as Syria, despite his older age at that time, and he was allowed to do so. The last adhan that Bilal ever called was in Syria, when Umar visited and the people requested him to call it, like during the golden days, when the Prophet was still living. And when he made the adhan, all the Muslims began to weep as if they were children. Bilal died around the age of 60 years old in Damascus, although others are of the opinion that he died in Medina. Allah knows best. From the early days of the Muslim persecution in Mecca to the wars between the Muslimin and the Mushrikeen during the Medinan period, and even during the era of the rightly guided caliphates, Bilal ibn Rabah remained one of the most steadfast, reliable, and honorable of the Sahaba.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
I hope that was a nice little treat for you there at the end. I think everybody likes the clips from the movie The Message. It's an educational movie about the life of the Sahaba and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So anyway, give me some comments, whether they be negative or positive. Both support me in the comment section below. Anything you would like to see in these videos going in the future, whether it be Islamic history or just history in general, I would appreciate it very much. And since this video was longer than 6 minutes, feel free to dislike it, and also be sure to subscribe, share, and dislike the video. Alright, bye everyone.